So that's actually the point at which I found Kal Academy, Seattle. And Kal is a software engineer from Microsoft who gives back to the community in her spare time. And so she just pretty much started a nonprofit. And when I went there, it was literally, she had set up her garage with, it wasn't even a whiteboard. It was just her computer projected on the garage wall. There was no bathroom. You had to hold it. One time I really had to use the bathroom. She let me go in her house. We had chairs. Like, it was the most low budget help people out thing. And I saw that she had full stack web development course. And so, I called her on the phone and she's like, well, what experience do you have? And I just started listing like, okay, well, at this point, I've looked at Ruby, I've looked at C#, I've looked at Java, I've looked at CSS, HTML, I've looked at, and she's just like, you're weird. Like, she didn't say you're weird, but there was just this pause of like, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know how to put it together. I need help. Like, someone needs to help me get over this hump of like, I can't put it together. And she was like, cool, show up on Saturday. So went to this room and since then she's upgraded. But at the time, there we were in her garage, and she just like, first step, she's like, okay, here we are in Visual Studio. You're going to press this button. When you press this button, oh, look, there's a website end to end. Here's how you run it. Okay, let's make a change on the front end. Okay, run it. Look, it looks different. Oh, here's a change on the back end. Okay, run it. It looks different. And I was just like, yes. That's all I needed. Like, just give me the start of how this works. And obviously, I got a whole lot more from her as well. But that middle step of, when you have pieces, how do the pieces fit together? What do you do with those pieces? That's something that if I had to teach myself entirely online, it would have been a lot of tears and a lot of pain and just really hard. And I feel like that's that place where it helps to have someone like holding your hand to get you through that stage of like, how do you put it together? And why does it matter? Why does anybody care? Why does it matter that someone needs to sign into your website? Like, it's a lot of hassle. Why do you need to do that? So yeah, so that was a piece where I really needed another person. And then also at the end, I took an interviewing class from her as well. And technical interviewing. Like, it is its own special squirrel on the best of days. It's just hard, and understanding the framework of what is the engineer on the other side of the table trying to get out of me in this interview, and why. What do they want to know about me? What will convince them to say yes? I feel like there are plenty of websites that talk about that. And then there's like LeetCode and Code Wars and all kinds of things where you can practice. But having a person explain it when they had been the hiring manager many times, like, I needed that. That was really helpful. So I think for me, it's kind of those three barriers, like the very, very getting started, the middle part, putting the pieces together, and then the end of like, how are you actually going to get hired? And how do you approach technical interview problems? Like, those were all, those are high barrier areas. And for me, I felt really lucky to have kind of found people each of those stages to help me through.
I love it. I love that a lot. Like, as we're talking right now, I'm like, okay, somebody needs to go set up some YouTube channel about how to set up different environments. Somebody need to do that. Somebody to put together like, okay, how does all, fit, mixing. So I don't know, just put it all together, middle ground, I don't know, but I know exactly what you mean now. I know exactly what, and then that final piece of the interview, it, like you said, it's its own beast, right? Because you get like an hour, 2 hours, I don't know how long you're with somebody, then you got to determine whether this person can contribute to your team. In your team, you're working on so many things, but within this hour, with 1 or 3 problems, you want to make a decision whether this person will be a good fit for your team, right? And then as somebody that you're trying to even break into an industry that you don't even know the other side, like Like, do I just gotta know memorize these questions and then answer, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
totally.
crazy. That's crazy. And I think it's a great thing that I'm gonna ask you too, because now you've been in Kamal's shoes. You've had to hire people, you know, all of that stuff. So like I can't wait to get your perspective on that. And before I jump in there, it's interesting, right? Like other people, they pay somebody, you know, boot camps or whatever, they put them through this, and there's this internship that's kind of like guaranteed in a way. Some they're like, okay, we'll help you with career search, blah, 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 hook you up with some networks, blah, blah, go find you a job. You didn't have that. So what gives? How did you go about it?
So, oh man. So a few things. One was Cal kind of laid out for us, you know, basically to get hired in tech, you need a portfolio, you need to be able to pass a technical interview. You can complain all you want that these are not requirements that you're a fan of, but that's what you need. And the sooner that you just push through your discomfort, your fear, your anger, whatever it is you're feeling, and you go do those two things, the sooner you're going to get a job. And for technical interviews, this is a learned skill. You can practice, you should practice, you can get better. Nobody's good at technical interviews. That's the point. And so she made us, she'd be like, you can pick your own problem. I don't care. Go on LeetCode. Here's my list. Like, pick whatever problem you want. Time yourself for 45 minutes, put a camera on yourself, get a whiteboard or a piece of paper, and code through your problem and talk through the logic as you go. And then go get a drink, go get a snack, come back and watch yourself and be critical. What did you see? Would you hire that person? Why would you hire that person? Why wouldn't you hire that person? And we talked about it. And she was like, I'm going to tell you two things. One, a lot of people don't expect you to solve the problem. They just want to see how your mind works. And they want to see that you're not going to give up. So when you go to that whiteboard to solve that problem, if you go there and you're like silent, how does that interviewer know what's going on in your head? Like, the point of this is to get at what's in your head. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, I can relate to this, you know, teaching and like putting things on a whiteboard. Cool. And she was like, two is they're supposed to give you something that you can't solve because they want to see how you approach something that you don't know, because that's software engineering. So if you go to that whiteboard and you're like, oh, I've never seen this. Oh, I'm kind of bad at this. Oh, I don't know. I'm new to the industry. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't have a CS degree. Like, are you going to feel confident in that person? Probably not. And so she was just like, you got to practice and then be hard on yourself. Like, watch that video and see, did I talk out loud and did I speak with confidence or did I talk myself down?